The day World War II could have ended in 1 hour, but didn't. The world came closer to peace that day than anyone ever realized. 1 hour. That's all it would have taken to stop the bloodshed, to save millions, to rewrite history itself. But it didn't happen. Because war isn't only fought on battlefields, it's fought in hearts, egos, and fear. It was February 1945. Europe was collapsing. Cities burned, skies screamed, and hope lay buried under the ruins of men's pride. In Berlin, Adolf Hitler hid beneath the earth, raving at ghosts of an empire already gone. Across the channel, Churchill stared at a list of the dead, his cigar burning lower than his faith. And in the east, Stalin waited, ready to reshape what was left of the world. 3 men, 3 powers, 1 dying planet. But far above the Baltic Sea, another story was unfolding, a smaller one, quieter, yet far greater. An American bomber called Lucky Lady limped through frozen clouds, engines failing, fuel almost gone. The crew, just boys, barely 20, had been awake for 30 hours. Captain Henry Larson wiped frost from the glass. Below him stretched only snow and silence. They were lost behind enemy lines. The radio hissed. Then a voice cut through the static. German, calm, commanding. Identify yourself. Larson froze. If he answered, they could die. If he didn't, they would crash. He took the microphone. American crew, lost, damaged, no weapons. A pause. Then, in broken English, the voice said, "Follow my signal. I will guide you." That voice belonged to Franz Stigler, one of Germany's best fighter pilots. He was ordered to shoot them down. Instead, he hesitated. Through his gun sight, he saw faces, not enemies, but frightened kids. He saw blood, fear, and something deeper, humanity. He remembered his brother killed by a bomber just like this. He remembered his mother's words. If you lose your compassion, you lose yourself. So he lowered his guns, and instead of killing them, he raised his hand and signaled, "Follow me." For 30 minutes, the 2 planes flew side by side, one enemy protecting another. No shots fired, no words spoken, just 2 souls refusing to hate. When they reached the sea, Franz pointed west and saluted. Larson saluted back, then the German vanished into the clouds. The Lucky Lady made it home. The crew lived. They told their commander. He said, "Impossible. Never speak of this again," so they didn't. The story disappeared into the noise of war. But what if it hadn't? What if mercy had been louder than vengeance? Could it have changed the world? Maybe, maybe not. Because that same hour, deep in a bunker, Hitler refused to surrender. 1 hour of pride became thousands more of death. And in the Pacific, a new weapon was born, one that would burn cities to ash and silence millions in a single flash. The war could have ended in an hour, but men chose power over peace, control over compassion. Years later, long after the smoke cleared, a letter arrived at a small house in Canada. "Do you remember the sky over the Baltic?" It read. "I never forgot." Half a century later, the 2 men met again, old, trembling and tearful. They didn't speak, they just hugged. When a reporter asked Franz why he spared them, he said, "I didn't save an enemy, I saved a human being." And maybe that's how the war should have ended, not with bombs, but with understanding. No medals were given, no history books remembered. But that single act, one whisper of compassion in a storm of hate, proved something history forgets. War doesn't end when the last bomb falls. It ends when someone decides not to drop it. And maybe that's the lesson we still need today. Because peace isn't made by leaders, it's made by moments. Moments when we choose to see each other not as enemies, but as mirrors.